reports. Certification of compliance with open meetings law. Someone want to open the door and see if someone's out there trying to get in.
Nope.
Roll call.
Kyle.
Here.
Bradson.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
And May is here.
Approve minutes from September 11th, 2017 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September 11th.
It is moved and seconded to approve the minutes from September 11th, 2017 board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment? Roxanne Brown.
Good evening. I'm Roxanne Brown. I live on Island Road, W1149. And I'd like to make note that there is no posted speed limit on that road between Highway E and 106. And the traffic that has been coming through there all summer long and for many years, it is just horrendous. They're going 55, 60, 70 miles an hour on that one straight stretch until they reach a very L curve and then another L curve and then they shoot it again and it's just too fast. And I'd very much like to have the consideration of getting a speed limit posted on Island Road.
Like 35?
Yes, please.
We can't, Larry. The lowest we can set is 45.
45?
That's the lowest we can set, and we'd have to pass an ordinance to do it, and we can do that.
Okay. Anything. I mean, it's dangerous.
Bill, you want to put that on the agenda for next month?
And what, is that from like a Jefferson County statute that's state?
Yeah.
Okay,
And any road that isn't posted is automatically 55.
okay.
But the problem you're going to have is the same as everybody else has, is enforcement.
Oh, sure.
The sheriff's department is going to tell you that you call them when you know the problem is going to be, and that's when they'll come out and they'll sit there. Maybe they'll come out, maybe they won't,
Okay.
but they won't go out there. If you tell them it's happening every day between 7 and 8, they might come out there once. If it's happening at different times of the day, they won't sit out there at all.
Oh, sure. Okay. Wasting
So,
time, I understand.
Probably,
wasting-
go ahead.
It's like wasting time and money. We can post it,
Okay.
and the lowest we can legally post it is 45.
So I'm confused. When I was on Old Rome Oak Hill Road the other day, there's a 35 posted there. Is that a different township?
It's a different township, but
Oh.
it's also, it was probably grandfathered in. It can be passed by the state, but, or the county, I'd have to check on that, but a town can only lower it to 45.
Okay.
The county could lower it. The county or state, you have to get permission from the DOT, and I'm not sure what you have to do with all
Is it
that.
by that residential area?
Yes.
That's why it's lower. It's real built up.
Yeah, but
That's
we
why-
are residential area.
Well, I
now.
know, but probably, it may have to do with population density, and that may be why the county
Oh,
is willing
okay.
to do it. We
Yeah,
we
they
can
can
ask. We can
That would
say-
be wonderful. I'd really appreciate it if you could ask. And the attempt to get it down to 45, that may help.
Like, if Saturday morning is like really bad on weekends of people coming in, you could maybe, you know, if there's multiple speeding like that time going on, call the sheriff department, tell them to come there next Saturday, because people come to the campground, you know, for the weekends.
I'm finding it on Friday nights from like 5, let's say 9, because people are going into town or out of town, or they're coming, or on Saturday late afternoons, people are just flying down there, probably rushing to get to their campsite, and it's just too dangerous. Well, thank you, I appreciate anything you can do.
Thank you.
If you make a note of the hours and you call the sheriff's department and be firm.
Okay,
Tell them you're seeing it every Saturday at this period of
on
time.
the weekends especially.
Hopefully they will get somebody else.
Tell them you can park in your driveway.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yep, yeah.
Thank you.
Steve Beauchamp.
Hi.
Show, I mean.
I apologize for my clothes, I just got off work. I live on Island Road. My neighbor lives at West 1117 Island Road. Built a 50,000 square foot building. and put some lights on it that shine through the house. They don't shine on the house, they shine through the house. I didn't move out to the country to have this happen. I was wondering if possibly maybe we could contact this person and ask them kindly if they could put shrouds on their lights. This would be the best thing to do, seeing as how the light is going. This building is over 100 yards from our house, but yet it lights up our house. I was wondering maybe if we could just contact them. I've tried to contact them. The police and me have also met, and we've talked about things, and they're gonna wait to see what can be done here first, and then go from there. But even the police, the officer Ken, he works on second shift, said that it is quite disastrous. And the point is that if anybody here, I know it's only for one person, if anybody here was living in our house, this would be done. And I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Reports, treasurer.
Account balances, our general fund is $137,095.98. Tax account has $2,077.72. The LGIP general account has $103,426.55. The LGIP fire and EMS has $2.62. Airport account has $43,152.59. And the LGI airport has 55 cents in it. Checks written in October, advance disposal, which is an auto pay, is $74.94.26. CenturyLink telephone, that's incorrect on your paper, it's $129.93. It went up $10, I assume our 2-year contract with them ended. That's for CenturyLink telephone. We Energies for the town hall is $47.59. We Energies for street lighting is $54.49. Road appraisals for the assessor's fees is $2,375. Vendor Levi Larson for town legal, $633.75. Transcendent Technologies, that's the tax software. They bought out the other firm that we were using, I don't remember the name right offhand, but it's $350. Northwest Services for brush cutting, repair the washout on Blue Spring Lake is $2,860. IRS third quarter withholding, $757.32. Village of Palmyra computer maintenance, $35. That was a shared account that we had when they had that checking account that we were.
That's for the QuickBooks software.
Yeah, for the that shared checking account we had for collecting the fees for past due fees. The Village of Palmyra Fire and EMS fourth quarter, $22,674. Larry Caw October salary, $369.40. William May salary, $577.19. Peggy Miller October salary, $577.19.
See the Larson invoice?
For vendor Levi Larson?
Yeah. Next month, there'll probably be, the bill from him will probably be more for the airport. Let me know when you get it in and
Okay.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's report. Is there any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Emergency management plan?
I guess we can both talk about that, huh? You did the first 3, I did the 4th one, everybody did the last 2. My feeling, the big thing I got out of it was that if we really got into a mess with debris management, the first thing we need to do is call manpower to get
Right.
managers out there.
There was a 3-day debris management seminar in Jefferson that Nona and I attended.
You know, the last day of it, what they were gonna talk about all morning scams.
Yeah.
We don't think we're in this situation where that's gonna be an issue for us, and then in the afternoon, there's a test.
Well, it basically had to do with management of debris, like in case of a tornado or some natural disaster, and how to maybe apply for aid and things like that. So it was very informative.
Anybody that wants to see it, we've got this little handy little thing in the town hall, you can come and, I'm gonna leave this one up here. So
Okay.
ask Bill if you wanna watch the video, we can.
We didn't have to deal with the hurricane or a lot of the stuff, but
And
it's,
this really just has to do with getting rid of debris and stuff.
Right.
This doesn't have anything to do with what happens during the onslaught.
but they said the average tornado was like 3 miles long and a half a mile wide, so the town, unless it has a problem at Blue Spring Lake's really not that dense where you would probably get a lot of debris, but it's good to, know
what to
things
do.
and have an idea of what to do and what.
And the interesting thing was the roads that were just torn up, where you had concrete and pavement and everything, where a tornado just plowed through, so you could have that, I guess, we hope we never do. But,
Fire department?
yeah, I got a list here from Mr. Small of the current roster. They have 19 licensed EMS providers, 4 EMS training with licenses pending, 16 firefighters, and 1 pending firefighter certification. I guess the one thing that, I mean, it's nice to have the roster, and I thank you for sending it. But if, I was looking through the village's minutes, and it's interesting that back in, this was August 21st, I think, at their committee of the whole meeting, they discussed the fact that there's been a decrease in staffing for calls, no one's signing up to take coverage, and his concern, Mr. Small's concern, is that it's a trend, and hiring people hasn't done any good, because what happens is they call and they don't show up. So President Turner suggested that maybe they should go to Plan B and eliminate the EMS department. That was his solution to their problem. And then on September 12th at the Budget and Finance Committee, Small talked about the possibility of trying to merge with another department. And he says, but at this time, Eagle would make the most sense, and they do not want to have a discussion with us. The other option is to contract with Western Lakes Fire, who services Dousman, Oconomowoc, Sullivan, and Rome. However, the village would still be paying for the service, of course, and also cost sharing. So he wasn't sure how much that would cost. But I guess, given the fact that I've had some phone calls from residents who are concerned about the fact that there was one call in particular, a person having a stroke, and they told 911 were in the village, responded, and then said, well, they couldn't hold them, so they had to wait for Dousman to get their ambulance in. And it was because of staffing. So I know that this is a statewide problem. I guess to me, one of the saddest things is that 6 years ago, we had a department that functioned, when we had a fire district, and the village saw fit to create a an EMS department, and that's what we're stuck with today. So obviously, it's not functioning well. I think the time has come for us to actively see if there's any solution to this problem. So toward that end, I've made a few calls, and I'll continue to do that as the committee chair. Let's see if we can have some discussions about it, maybe with Mr. Small next week.
Airport? Blue Spring Lake District?
Northwest Services filled in all the washouts on the shoulders from last winter with reclaimed asphalt. And the county went and redid the access point by Dick Herbst's residence. I believe it's 1131 South Shore Drive. To very good satisfaction, they did a nice job on it. And that's all I have for Blue Spring Lake.
Building inspector?
None.
Highway?
Well, you guys did a nice job of fixing that Marsh Road out there in Wiltonski.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks nice. It's nice driving it. I drive it around. We started mowing today, and hopefully we'll get it done mid-week next week. That's really about all I've got.
okay, I saw a branch that I missed on Island Road. I'll get that out of there tomorrow.
Okay.
But at least the mowing this time of year, the way the grass is, you can see the stuff.
Right.
Whereas in the spring, you couldn't see anything underneath, but I think we got everything we could see. So it should be pretty good for you. And the county did our repairs that we hired them to do on Hooper Road, the intersection of Watunsky and Marsh, B-Tents Lane. There was a culvert on Lowland. We were gonna replace the culvert, but it didn't really need it, and so we got it patched for not too much money. And we put that money into more repairs on Marsh Road. And the quote that we had from the county was around 42,000, and they told me we probably spent like 36.5. But I didn't get a final bill from them today.
Correspondence?
Yeah, there's a public notice and air pollution control permit application for the Cold Spring Egg Farm. They're having a public hearing, and that's gonna be on
October 24th.
October 24th?
It's
October 26th.
26th.
26th at 11 a.m. at Palmyra Village Hall on West Taft Street. Couple more things here. Michael and Lisa Eddy are building a new house on Hooper Road, W585 Hooper Road, and the Jefferson County Zoning is having their hearing on October 12th, 2017 at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. The only thing that concerns us is the Laura Wilson, their setback variance they applied for.
It's the zoning board of adjustment for variances.
That's all I have.
Are you gonna go in?
Pardon?
Are you gonna go to that one?
Yeah.
No, this would be too.
New business? Yeah, that's all correspondence?
Yep.
Okay. New business, discussion possible action to approve conditional use permit for Richard Shower for PIN number 024-0516-3311-004 at West 1378 South Shore Drive, Palmyra, 53156. Mr. Shower?
Right here.
You just want to describe what you're...
Yeah, I own that B lot, it's directly behind my A lot.
Okay.
I gave notice to my neighbors of the meeting tonight here, there's a list with the signatures, addresses here. It's a single car garage, it's approximately 1,000 square foot. Mr. Etzel is here, he's my builder. So it complies with the residential garage requirements, zoning law of 1,000 square foot. But we want to put a loft in here. I'd like to have some storage for my personal things and family things. So in order to get a loft, and we have to go much higher. You can see from my drawing, it's a very nice looking structure. I've talked to both my immediate neighbors. They have no objection, nor do any of my other neighbors in my surrounding areas. So I believe it's approximately 27 feet high, Gary?
Yes.
Okay, and according to our current zoning on a garage is 15 foot, so it's substantially higher. But in order to get that loft and have it look as nice as it does, newer buildings have a lot more pitch put into the roof. It would be addition and kind of match my own house that I have, there's a lot of pitch across the street. Mr. Etzel's here to answer any additional questions.
The county, because of the restrictions of us building, there's an existing garage on the parcel. It was owned by Marion LaSalle years ago.
Correct.
Dick purchased it from her. What we want to do is get rid of that building because it's limited on its use. It's flat roof. There's not a lot of storage capacity. Dick has sold his house in town. He's moved out here permanently.
Happy to be in Jefferson County.
And the county is requiring us to, because it's a B lot, they will let us put a structure on there without a house. That we have to go through, obviously, with the variance and so on and so forth. What we are running up against, and we need your approval on, is obviously the look of the structure and your nod of approval for the project. Then we go to the county and they're going to give us their opinion on whether we can go past that 15-foot height restriction.
What's the height of the first Level 8 foot?
We put a 9-foot wall line in for 8-foot overhead door.
Okay.
And the reason being, boats, storage like that,
Okay.
Dick wants to try to keep that inside versus parking it in the back and, another eyesore.
Yeah.
Try to keep the neighborhood nice. So we got a 9-foot height, and we put, then he wanted some extra capacity as far as storage above, and that's pretty much for personal items and so on and so forth, downsizing, et cetera. And again, to keep everything inside versus, letting it sit outside.
If I may, I've got just 2 pictures of the present structure there. You can kind of compare to see what is currently on that property. As Gary said, this would be demolished in full. It's just a cinder block garage.
Yeah.
It's not a very nice looking structure for either of my neighbors. I have a brand new house next to me, brand new within 6-7 years. So I'd like to tear it down and replace it with this.
Now, this,
What's next to it on the B lots?
I have 2 residential houses.
Houses.
And, yeah, so,
as far as setback requirements and the size of the structure, it meets everything up to the height
The height,
restriction.
okay.
Right. And that height restriction is only because it's a garage, because the house
Correct.
wouldn't have that.
Correct,
Yeah.
And it will fit in with the neighborhood,
right.
so.
Right, and, let's face it, I'm assuming that ordinance that the county, it's been in place for a long, long time. But as time goes by, all these structures that we're building nowadays, they're steeper pitch roofs, trying to get more curb appeal, et cetera.
the current county, if it's a residential structure, is 35 foot.
Right.
Height
Yeah.
requirement, so, again, I agree with Gary, that law was written a long time ago where garages, roofs were much less pitched.
So basically, what we're asking you guys for is, you say, hey, look, we're okay with it, then we gotta go through the county variance. And
It's just a
conditional
variance
use.
from us.
Correct.
Okay. And you didn't have any objection from the neighbors?
No,
I'll make a motion to pass the application for
For a variance.
conditional use
It's a variance, isn't
and a
it?
variance, whatever.
Yeah. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the conditional use or variance for Richard Shower at the aforementioned PIN number. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carried.
Thank
And
you.
he'll fill a paperwork out, send it to the county.
okay,
Yeah, I'll send it tomorrow.
He'll send it in tomorrow.
thank you.
Okay?
All right, have a good night.
Board. That's it. Discussion and possible action to approve payment to Transcendent Technologies for annual software program.
I'll make a motion that we approve. It's just a change in who we're dealing with.
Change in
I'll
providers.
second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve payment to Transcendent Technologies for annual software tax program. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Discussion and possible action concerning request for proposals for residential garbage removal services for the town of Palmyra.
I guess I'm gonna make a motion that we, since we don't have to, let me back up here, the Towns Association says we don't need to publish anything because we know who the providers are in the area, so I'm gonna make a motion that we send a request for proposal to the 3 providers that do service this area that would, for residential stuff, that would be, I think it's called Badgerland in Milton, John's Disposal Services, and our current Advanced, because our contract's up with them, so I have to do something.
When is the
Yeah.
end of the event?
I'll second the motion.
And we've got a copy of what Sullivan did for their request for proposals. Norm Stoner sent me a copy, so
Okay.
Peggy and I can sit down and take Sullivan out, take their little picture off,
Put us in.
put us in. It's basically the same thing. We've got to change the number of residences, and that's about it.
Okay.
And I guess we should ask for a couple different things, and I think they did too, and I read that. It's real short, it's only 3 pages long, I think, but whether we want every other week recycling pickup, if we could ask them to give us the cost breakdown.
The difference in
however
price.
we do it,
Yeah.
and the dump things.
Hellenville does every week,
They
I
do.
think, don't they? Do they do it every week on the site?
The town of Sullivan? The town of Sullivan does.
Okay, that's what I
The
thought.
town of Jefferson does. Helen lives in the town of Jefferson.
Right.
Um,
Well, that's what they do in the village.
Yeah,
It's every other week with the
yeah.
recycling.
Right. And if you have those big things that they automatically dump, those curbside things, you know, better than those old tubs like that anyway. So,
Okay,
vote on that?
it's been moved and seconded to request proposals from Edgerland or request proposals for residential garbage removal services. I don't know, I guess we can request one from Advanced,
Yes, all
And-
three of them. And John's.
John's and
And
Edgerland.
Edgerland.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion possible action to set the date for a budget workshop. When was it last year?
Next to last Monday in October, I think.
Oh, last or next to the last, did you say? Next to the last?
I thought the next to last, but it might have been the last,
Last year?
last year.
I don't remember.
Well, the next to the last would be the third weekend. Calendar, we must have it somewhere.
Well, I got one on my phone.
Okay, try it.
What, October?
Yeah.
No,
What day do you want?
he was gone, came back and went
Try it there.
away. Started to figure out and just asked him.
Was it on Monday night? 16th, 23rd, and the 30th are Monday nights.
23rd.
23rd. Sounds about right. I'll make a motion. We're holding on the
I'll second that motion.
At 7 o'clock.
23rd. Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded to have the, set the budget workshop,
Yeah, it's just a workshop.
October 23rd, at 7 o'clock here.
Okay.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Discussion, and possible action, possible nuisance lighting ordinance in the town of Palmyra. I talked to the town attorney, I talked to Deb at planning. The wording for the county nuisance lighting, it says, no direct or reflective glare from any business or industrial district shall be detectable from any residential area. And I guess I would just like to use the county ordinance and include like large recreational buildings with multiple lights be required to be shaded.
how are you gonna define a recreational
How do you define large?
building?
5,000 square feet.
Well, how is,
Well, how are you gonna define recreational? You guys have determined that this guy has a writing agreement, what if he's using it for storage? Then does it become business? If it's farm storage, it's not. He's gonna stick a combine in there and a...
Okay, how about large buildings with multiple lights?
How are we gonna enforce this?
You're saying you're gonna use the county to enforce it?
I'll use the county ordinance.
Well, the county ordinance is the county ordinance, we can't change that.
So then we have nothing to say about it.
Well, I would just add to the county ordinance that we would have,
So that would be our ordinance.
it would be our ordinance.
Okay, but who's gonna enforce it? The county has already told us they won't enforce it.
I agree with Mr. Beauchamp that somebody
It's a
should,
nuisance.
yeah, somebody should talk to the owner of the building.
Well, I think Mr. Bojang should talk to the...
And I think I think you as chairman should talk to him.
I will talk to him.
I think if anything, a letter.
A letter is fine.
I've tried to talk to them and they are very, very rude people, okay? They are something out of the,
This is
what I'm
going
trying
on
to
for
say is I
years.
know.
I will talk to them.
A neutral person to go in and ask them to be a common sense saying, they don't even live in that building. They come on weekends. No one lives in that building under the name that building is on.
You mean the
Their kids
house? You
come
mean
in.
the house?
The house is rented to a little old lady that's not there all the time. They have 4 dogs, none of them are licensed in our district. They just,
I will talk
Need
to
to be
him. I will
talked to.
talk to him and I'll put this on the agenda it'll be on the agenda again next month.
Maybe it would be appropriate to send a letter to say, hey,
Could they
is,
please put a shroud on their lights? They're blinding the neighbors, we're having complaints. And then maybe it would be a solved issue if they're like their brother Gary, who lives on the other side of us. He did the same thing, but after he came down and he shrouded his lights, and everything is just fine with Gary now. If he could do the same thing his brother did, and that would be just fantastic.
Okay, well-
If they could just put some shrouds, which every single light outside has on it. Nobody has the lights he has. He has a bulb all by itself. There's no top, there's no sides, there's no nothing. He just has a bulb there. Okay? That'd be like sitting in your living room and taking the shroud off of your lamp. It just doesn't seem right.
Okay, we'll send him a letter.
okay, so by sending a letter, what if nothing happens?
We'll send him
It
another
doesn't
letter.
happen.
Pardon?
It doesn't happen. If he doesn't, if the letter
Sounds
doesn't do any
good.
good, then the letter doesn't do any good. And if you wanna go talk to him, the problem is, this is the Hatfields and McCoys, and it's gone on for years with one thing after another. And it's
We'll
called-
send him a registered letter.
It's called
and
starting a
see what
pissing
happens.
contest
We'll
for
make
this cup.
sure that he gets it.
Okay, so in the event, we've done everything that you as a board could do by sending a letter or speaking to them. What is the next step for us to somehow get some legal ordinance?
I talked to the town attorney about this several times, and he said you could file a lawsuit, a nuisance lawsuit against them yourselves.
That certainly didn't work with someone else in the community that had a complaint about them cutting down his woods, and he ended up spending thousands. They're very rich and wealthy people. They don't care. They don't, yeah.
Well, we'll try the letter, see what
Okay.
happens.
And you would let us know how that goes?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay? Discussion and possible action for donation to Lori Miller for work.
You skipped one.
Which one?
6.
Oh, yeah.
Repairs on the roof.
It's not
Thank you,
leaking.
Larry.
Okay, discussion and possible action. For repairs at the Palmyra Town Hall roof for the town of Palmyra.
I think we should, this roof needs repairing.
I'd like to offer my services as a roofer for all my life, and I will meet or beat any bid.
We'll take
I'll
bids.
give you the best,
We're required to let bids.
Okay.
can give you the best guarantee you'll ever get.
Okay.
If I could,
You'll have the opportunity to bid.
Let's do our business.
I'm also recommending that we put a steel roof on, because then it won't have to be replaced.
I was
Good
gonna
idea.
recommend, I was gonna recommend that.
yeah, it's a forever roof, it's a good idea.
Larry, tell me.
We're okay.
So,
Let's let bid, you wanna make a motion to let bids first
Sure,
there?
I'll make a motion to let bids out for the roof. Do we have to publish it, or is it above the limit that we would have to publish?
I'm not sure, we'd have to ask the Towns Association.
Okay.
I thought anything over 25,000 had to go up for bids, and this
This
isn't,
gonna be
Better be
near
this
that.
isn't gonna be close to that.
No,
But, I can call the Towns Association and ask them.
all right. See.
Okay, so we will ask for
But
bids.
we,
Pardon?
but we should ask,
We should get a few bids.
we should get some bids.
We'll ask bids for steel roof, what color?
Not blue, not green.
I'll submit a bid.
Whatever Dave Anick has to post.
Okay. Cover sheets, they're all
Just
different,
not the-
cover sheets, they're all different colors.
Yeah, not the ones I've got.
Say
Okay.
Anick lumber on the top.
Someone want to put that in a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we,
Steel roof.
for a steel roof on the town hall.
Okay, we'll have time to ask, we'll have time to figure out the color.
Yeah.
I seconded, you second?
I seconded it.
It's been moved and seconded to sequester bids for the roof. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss and possible action for donation to Lori Miller for work on the joint fire EMS account for the town of Palmyra and the village of Palmyra.
Did we get a final amount?
Yeah, we have a check for $824.36.
Okay, and she did this for how many years? 6 years?
Must be, yeah.
Yeah.
But, a couple $100.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we give her $200? just to her, not to the village, but just give it to Lori. Anybody object to that?
Did you make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we give Lori Miller a gift of $200 worth of
It's not
thank
really a
you.
gift.
Well, it is.
Man, like
It's
it's
just, it's not to
It's
a
for
service.
services
Oh, it's
rendered.
for services. We pay her.
It's not, it
It's
would
not a
be,
gift, you're right.
it would
Then she
be,
doesn't have to share it with her brother-in-law.
Give it to me, I might give it to her. But only cash.
I would say the motion should say
I said-
services
For
rendered.
services.
I second that.
It's moved and seconded to give Lori Miller a check for $20 for services rendered for the last 5 years for the work she has done on behalf of the town, doing the paperwork on the collection of the EMT money. We closed that account, the town has got a check for $824.36, and that account no longer exists, and Lori doesn't have to do it anymore. So,
Aye.
it's been moved and seconded.
Yeah.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. He never said,
Well, we sort of applied it.
Motion carried.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
It's a great chair.
What?
Super
Don't forget to get your thank you card for Lori at the Doghouse Liquor Store. I got cards.
Okay,
Some more. You're right.
you have to measure up the roof now.
All right, I will do
You have any
that.
sand over
I
there?
will leave my bid open,
You also need certificate.
because I want to make sure that I understand
You can't
everything.
do that, you have to submit a
I
pledge.
just want something back in my truck and follow.
You can't.
Oh, I
You're
get
not
it.
gonna know what somebody else is bidding. That's not.
Well, I want to save you money.
Oh, I understand
And make,
that, but you have to do it
make
legally.
the bid for removal
262.
Removal of the roof and new metal.
with the quarter-inch band for
What we'll do is,
We need, the town needs proof of bonding or whatever.
Yeah, I don't get charged to bring that with me.
Make that other spec.
There'll be a spec sheet.
Let's go back to the other one, we gotta do it again tonight, or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, so I'll buy you and get some.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
165.
So this is the
Oh my God. I got the right order on the
60.
dog wheel. Dog
Attendance is falling.
started.
You doing something wrong?
It was wonderful. Yes.
She's starting out.
Mainly got a bubble one.
She's starting out with a mile a
It
day.
was wonderful. No, she was just excited to see it. She's never done it. So what I wanted to tell you is, I've got almost everything together, but I'd like to set up a time when maybe and with maybe Winona and we could sit and talk. On the weekend be better? Evening or weekend? Oh, I'll find
Thank you very much.
But she doesn't see.
But it's Winona. Well, when we go, she'll probably get great ideas. She'll be away from it. And I will. Yeah, definitely, so weekend would be good.
She said she was standing over there. She was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, right after dinner. Or late afternoon.